Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of IMC. This is the big elephant in the room, touring. This is where artists make their money. It is the most direct and involved part of the music business with your fans. You get immediate response from them.
I've cut you a little bit. Rossi, could you please introduce yourself to
For
the
myself?
people? Yes, please.
All right, who don't know me? All right, everybody else, come now. See that now. My name is Paul Lee. Everybody call me Rossi. I've been working with Shaggy now for about 30 years. Can't count really, it's got to be 32 or something like that. We have...
And he's been my tour manager. His title is our tour manager. So everything knowledgeable on touring globally, Rossi is our go-to because he didn't just learn it by just book, he's learned it through experience.
And we talk for each other too. So, yeah, I've been in it for 30 odd years and we've gone through the entire globe, I guess. I can't think of a country that we haven't been in and have influence on starting up our genre there in those countries. We don't speak about those things a lot, but yeah, we have extensive amount of touring responsibility within our entity. And so, what is touring? There's, yes, levels of it. The young artists with maybe one song, two songs, I don't think they're at the level where it's touring as yet. I think they're doing spot dates. But there's responsibility to what you do and how it is done. You can go from there all the way up to Rolling Stones, 2 747s, 6 private planes. Bring everything that you need on the road. So the wide spectrum of touring, merchandise, after parties, all the things that you do on the road, the way you travel, your visas, all those type of things, that's what we're going to talk about today. We have two people on panel here that wasn't supposed to be here. I think we're kind of missing some people. No, Marcy, I don't think she was on the original list of touring acts. But I welcome her because we've seen each other on the road forever. And as young acts coming up, you look towards the more experienced ones as your, that word, as your mentor, as your experience giver, as your talk around things, calm you down. Our young artists of today, we are stars in Jamaica first. And that basically, I think, is a double-edged sword. It gives you the confidence, but then you're overconfident and do less of the work when you get in the field. So that scope of what we do in Caribbean, as Caribbean acts here, is, I think, on a slippery slope where the wrong step can make someone slip. So, with that said, let's just find out from these two very experienced musicians that has toured the world what touring means to them. And I'll start with Marcia. The history of where you've gone through. You've been on reggae tours. They're not anymore around. There are reggae festivals, but there aren't any reggae tours. We want to know where those things went, why they left us, and when they left us. Because I think there's a turn in this music world that affected what we did as a culture with the younger ones coming in, that affected what we're seeing going forward. So how do you feel about your journey as a touring
I
act?
just want to greet everyone here. Good evening. blessings. But fortunately for me, I started in the 70s with Bob Marley, where, I mean, that is like from A. Now we pass all Z. So, you know, I was blessed to have had that experience with touring with Bob. Those days we had no tour bus. But let me first say that to me, touring is the highlight of your career because you're behind the scenes recording every day, sending out music to the four corners of the earth. And this is where you actually meet your audience, your fans, intimate connection, you know, with your fans that has been listening to you over the years. So this is something that it was so overwhelming for me, seeing people that I've never seen. There are a multitude of people, like looking at 80,000 people in the 70s with Brother Bob. And let me tell you something, it's a discipline. Touring is not just fun. You have to be disciplined because I have to mention Tony Johnson here for Reggae Sunsplash. For Tony Johnson was a man who really instilled discipline in every single artist, no matter what your name. You could be Jimmy Cliff, Toots. He left his own daughter. If Tony Johnson says we're leaving at 3, remember that we're leaving at 3. If you come 5 after 3, the bus is gone. You have to find your way to the venue, the next venue. So these are little things that I learned along the way. And, you know, Bob Marley was the very first man to come on the bus. He was the first person to come on the bus when we were traveling. And those days we had no tour, no bunks. This is a sit-up bus. So, you know, this is really not the most comfortable thing. And a lot of times we have hit and run. You're living out of a suitcase. You're longing to see a hotel. You know, so these are some of the things that I have experienced. And I think this is a blessing because, you know, it has taught me to appreciate everything that I'm seeing today with tour buses having bunks that you can sleep on your long journey versus what I started with buses that you have to sit up for 11, 12 hours traveling from one place to another. So I think you have to be disciplined and you have to be prepared mentally and physically. You know, I've gone on tours recently with younger artists. And trust me, after the first week, it was what you could call pop down. Serious. And they're asking me how I do this. And I honestly sometimes I don't even know, I can't even answer the question. But it's not an easy road. But every night you go on stage, no matter how hard, no matter how tired, you are rejuvenated just from the energy that you get from your audience and the love that they give you. So night after night, you are rejuvenated. Energy and love and positive vibration. So it's something I look forward to even now at my age. I love it.
Absolutely. Very, very entertaining and fun part of the music business, of course. Them now have your name up there so more, you know, because Peter Shaggy up there, so I'm going to go straight to Shaggy right now.
It wasn't planned.
How important is it, Mr. Boombastic, to cover all the bases of touring, whether it's merchandise, the after parties, the meet and greets at sound check, the press in the morning? How important are those things towards the development of a career while out there touring?
Well, first of all, let's look at the term touring, right? What people figure say touring. There's touring and there's doing shows. It's two different things, in my opinion. You going and doing one-offs is not really a tour. A tour is when you're going on a long stretch of shows. A lot of the things in the shows which you know about this, Rossi, you might have what is known as anchor dates, right? These anchor dates might be the bigger dates where it'll be a festival, and then during the week you might do filler shows, which are smaller dates, right? And this is where the road manager comes into play, where he has to now balance everything from the bus. You might a bus costs like what, 30,000, 35,000 a week, or 25,000 a week?
Well, I get a better deal than that, but
yeah. And the deal he gets boils down again to one relationship, which I have spoken about earlier, right? And also leverage, depending on the type of artist it is. Sometimes it even boils down to the leverage of like you said, if you're with a management company or a agency company that has multiple bigger acts that help to leverage you on bus. We've been in a situation where we put our money on the bus, and it's a nice, sexy bus.
Mary J. Blige take it.
Mary J. Blige take it, and they'll say, you give Mary J. Blige your bus? And then say, well, Mary J. Blige is with the firm, and the firm took about 30 bus. So as much as we like, Shaggy Jano,
we're out of bus.
You know, fuck up a 30 bus deal, so it is those things. But over the years, Paul has developed relationships, and correct me if I'm wrong, with a lot of these bus companies, to where even if there are bigger entities in there, because there's a relationship and we deal with them well over the years, you get that. So you have to budget throughout the weeks of these shows, right? And then each one, when you're talking about backline, right? We were talking earlier, you wasn't here, I think you were here during the week, we were talking about people touring with the size of band. Some artists would like to come out with big bands. With, you want guitarists, percussionists, hand section. That's salary for each one of them, per diem for each one of them. Travel for each one of them, accommodations for each one of them. That cuts into your bottom line money, right? So which is why, as an artist, you have to be realistic about what you're putting on the road, right? Some people do overkill. That's why I think Chris Black was the one that said it to me years ago, that how does he sign an artist? He signs the artist based on whether the artist can tour or not, can perform, has a charisma. Because when you have natural charisma, you don't need as much of the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? You can go there with a microphone, and just from your charisma and your presence, you own an audience. Yes, you know what I mean? And then there are other artists where you see, they might have explosion and things that fly out, and one car come down and them dip on one bed come in, and those are wow factors, and those wow factors cost a shitload of money. And they might have screens and this and cut in. But if you are an artist that just naturally have that God gift, just boom, have that, so where you can just stand up and do it. I see Queen Africa a couple of days ago when them do a track, and I look on her right as she come off and do her track, the big track with everybody know. And I say, well, do the new one now? And I say, but I not read him. I go do it a cappella. And she do it a cappella so and woo everybody, and so that is what you call that natural ability to hold an audience from your charisma, right, and your presence in there. And that will help with your budget also. That you don't have to use all of it. If you can't carry like a 4-piece band, you don't have to carry 7, 8, or 9. And that makes it hard for the road manager at the same time to try balance it. And when you go home now as an artist and realize, you don't get this much, you start cuss everybody from management to road management to everybody and say, yo, I'm going to come home and I have the money. Yeah, but you wanted these bells and whistles. So you have to take responsibility for what it is. You hear me say a couple of days ago, perfect your craft. Perfect your craft. If you perfect your craft, you won't need as much bells as whistles as everybody else does. Especially if you're in a genre that don't have that kind of budget, right? Rossi just tell you about touring that is gone. And why the reggae touring is gone, because really and truly, him can tell you, if me go this as a reggae act, go tour under the banner reggae, it is less lucrative for me. We did, how many shows we did for this last summer?
I had to remember that now, probably about 60 something.
For the Europe tour, right?
Yeah.
We did 2 reggae shows, which was Ratatam, no.
And the one in England.
The one in England and no, Summer Jam.
Suck Your Mother.
Those 2 were probably our 2. Those 2 shows were probably our 2 lowest paying shows, as far as festivals, right? Or 2. You listen to what I say?
Listen to this point. Very important.
The 2 reggae show them are the 2 lowest paying out of all of the festival them, and the one them we treat with the worst. See, another man there with me. So at bottom line, right? When you look at it, with all of the touring situation that is going, reggae itself is harder, right? We did something the other day. What we were doing the other day in when we were doing all of these
Australia.
No man. The park them. State fairs.
Oh, the state fairs. Last year we did a run with TLC, doing some state fairs.
And we did a thing called state fair. Now me never know say state fair, did it? Because now them place in some place with a Wyoming or some of them far out place there that we go. And we're doing the state fair, and we're there with TLC, and we're killing it. Till the lady that runs the state fair thing, she says, I've been doing this for the last 30 years, Shaggy, and I've never seen you on this circuit. Now, let me explain what state fair is, and Rasa can. State fairs they're concerts. They're not some of them are in fairgrounds, but some of them are in proper venues.
Let me add one thing to that.
Yeah.
Every state has a budget to supply entertainment to their residencies, the people who live there. If they don't spend that in that calendar year, it goes back to wherever it comes from, the federal government. So immediately after COVID, all the state fairs got active. So we got in and did a bunch of them with TLC.
No, those state fairs, these are money that are earmarked, like him say. Right? That means that you give a price out there on your bam bam and them gear. There's no reggae or Caribbean act has ever been on that. And none of these agents are telling you that because they're looking at reggae as niche and they're looking at it as summer. I mean, not talk no liquor money. They might pay your top dollar because they don't worry about the money whether you feel the venue or not. Right? It's earmarked as there. It's done. It's money by the state that is there. For them pay you. And a lot of us as reggae acts don't go through it. We don't know nothing about it. And these agents don't know to pitch you in that part. And so that is one of the things that we have to do. We know, I try my best not to take reggae shows. And I'm not doing that because I don't like reggae. I'm doing that because if I go up on a reggae show, I'm just doing the same shit with the same audience, the same people that love it. I'd rather take the shows outside of reggae, which are way more uncomfortable, in front of an audience that probably don't know my culture, and then I wow them and try and sell my culture to them. That's the show I take, right? So more time you see me post some video and you see a bunch of people and we look like them in a Hicksville, we dance off key and don't know where I go on. That's because I'm going in that market to actually break it down instead of taking the shows in the regular reggae market, you know. And then a man them gonna cuss and say, "Boy, Shaggy, the boy I'm not coming, so him thinks I'm better than we." So we get a couple of that too.
Me love go to the reggae show them for the food. And they say I get the food.
Yeah, well, we love the culture of being around the peers, you know. But just on an economical sense, and breaking ground is a harder run. You know, just walking with reggae becomes harder. So first of all, they don't think you should be there only in summer. So if you're going to winter, they know why you. Because them say, oh, reggae, that's summer music. What are you talking about? We don't know reggae as summer music. We know reggae as all around music. But in their mind, that's what they think.
So last night, Esco shelled the place. Wicked. First me ever see her, my dog. Yeah, up at Valiant. So, Valiant is a very, very, very talented, young, upcoming artist. How you think touring would affect Valiant and the type of show that he did last night? Now, what I mean by that, he didn't sing a full song. He didn't even sing a full chorus. He let the crowd sing. When he gets back past songsters and the crowd is not singing anymore, what do you think his adjustment will need to be to make that impression?
I think where that is concerned, shows in Jamaica is kind of different from shows overseas. Because even the gig that he performed last night, it was scheduled on a time. And artists in general have this thing like close on time of a coordinate, so they reach a certain time and all of that. The difference is, what I know is shows that keep overseas, they normally like have a set. So they wouldn't have, because last night it was 3 DJs, me, Tyler, and Kevy. So we had to keep the crowd entertained until the artist shows up and relax and get drinks and all of that, and then they set his time for work. Now, overseas it would be different because he would have to do a sound check. They would give him his duration as to how long he will be working, yeah, and he would have to put together a set. So if he have 30 songs, he have to pick out the most known from the 30 and do a compilation. So it would make what you'd call a good set in terms of to match his time. So if they say that you're going to work 1.5 hours, you have to find like the song here, 5 minutes, the one here 3, so that 8 minutes, the one here 4. You understand what I mean? So, and then you have to do sound check so as the sound reaches the person, because based when you tour.
Was there a sound check last night?
No, I'm not going to do sound check last night. So I'm saying
Right,
the shows.
because you had sound issues last night.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was going to get to as well. Because some of the time, the sound system causes you not to perform how you want to perform. So that's why sound check is very important. So in Jamaica, sound check not really do. You understand? The man is getting money, go, they say I work. If you reach 12 o'clock, them reach 1 and stuff. So, no, for real.
Well, that was
No,
my...
analyze me again. No,
that
one
was
thing
my
with me-
very nenext thing,
No.
arriving late.
No,
I
because
think you should be there in the venue.
yeah, because
to
that's why I
perform at your
said that's why I
time.
said earlier that punctuation is key, and then you have to learn that, and it will mash you up, as we say as Jamaicans, when you don't practice proper time management. So him do some tour overseas and him did great, and then you cannot stop the crowd from singing your song, cause I hit them one ear when him go out there and say 100. They want to, they're going to help him sing it. So if it's overseas, it's still going to happen. They're still going to sing with him and all of that. But as I said, it would have to be a case where the time that he's given to perform, he have to perform for fill that. Because if you notice, I've noticed overseas the shows that the artist does, when them have to work the show them. Them do the first verse, punchline, second verse again, and then them do two little freestyle. So if they don't have enough songs to fill the 30 minutes, they do some little freestyle or them call up one of them bridging and just help put together a performance to fill the 30 minutes that they go and perform or that they charge to perform for. So him, I mean, he's learning. He's very young, because remember saying him got in bed last night as with 10 grand in him bank account, and him sing a song and wake up the next morning with millions. So him have a lot to learn. So his management have to do that, and the fact that this panel is keeping like stuff like these, they need to be here to get the mentorship and to get the proper knowledge of what the music is about, and to know that what you do here, them say dance a yard before you dance abroad. So you have to master your craft here. That's when you go out in the world, you don't really get no backlash or nobody. So this me pay my money for. You understand? You want to make sure that you're obligated to give the people what they want. Because some of the times, if when, for instance, you get booked for a show and you don't deliver, it go bad for your name. it automatically like mash up your thing, as we say. So as I say, him have a lot to learn. He's very talented though, and I believe him gonna catch on, and he will.
Well, one of our guests that is missing is from Live Nation, and I think it was important to have him here. But I'll speak about what Live Nation is doing in America right now. Between them and AIG, they basically own the whole damn touring venues in America.
Include, venues.
Venues.
Plus routings.
Plus
acts,
routings,
yes.
yeah. And they put packages out in these venues on a yearly basis in their touring season. The artist that is hot here in Jamaica will get work because people want to see him in the diaspora. But that next level, if that doesn't portray true and keep going up, then that artist is going to die.
So basically, in the diaspora, where him going to oversell himself.
Oversell himself.
Right. I'm
So
burnout.
This is the missing link to make those people have a transition into where Shaggy, Sean, these people who have been there grow into. So maybe this is for the entire panel because we have Marcia that's been through the world basically for a very long time. Shaggy has been in the red van also. We couldn't afford the tour bus when he just started, and we did actually had to do a transition into now making him a live act. Well, he did it. He's a workaholic. So in thinking about those things, you come up against language deficiencies, how your punctuality, how you present yourself, the culture that we're in, how you feel that exportation of today's young youth needs to be adjusted in order to have Jamaica as the light that we're shining, or the Caribbean, should say, because this comes from Trinidad also and all the smaller islands.
Sorry. For me, I think that would be the promoter's job because they're not going to book a dancehall artist for a soca event. They're not, the shows that Shaggy got booked for, them show they better call them, they know. Some stadiums.
Well, the world is changing right now.
Yeah, I know that, but
reggae is doing jazz fest. Everybody's everywhere.
I know that,
you know
but
what
what I'm saying is, they wouldn't, for instance, like a Lali has like most of, and Ding Dong has most of the dancing songs. So they can easily matriculate in whatever the festival is about because they're representing Jamaica. The voicemail have tons of history songs that the nostalgic greatness where them song they create. You end up going to the gym and eat your workout too. So the promoter would have to book the artist that they want for that. So for me, that would be the promoter's job.
For me, where promoter is concerned, I never find a promoter yet in my 30 years to say make money.
All of them ever lose. Them find a fault.
Not one.
One. Not Carolina.
Not Carolina.
He said it to me.
Him tell you, him never tell me. Every promoter that I know, well, like Rasta say, almost them always lose. So I don't listen to promoter one bit. There are different types of touring also. Like when you talk about promoter, normally what tour we go our show go is a promoter hire you for do a show. When we talk about leverage, when you get to another level where basically there's another level there where you hire the promoter to do your show. I don't think there's anybody in the Jamaican
No, that does that.
That does that. But that is something. When you see the Rolling Stones are U2 are Sting in some sense, you know, they sometimes hire a promoter, right, to do their show. So the promoter get a part for him promotional team, but the lion's share of it goes to the artist as the promoter. But that comes with leverage, like I said. So everything is built to build, and that is when you start making a real cake. You know, I never realized that people make $1 million show. US, a show. I was shocked that happened because I never see that kind of money in my life. Right? But once I found out that they were making $1 million a show, then I realized that people also make $2 million a show and $3 million a show. The other day, Beyonce made $24 million for one show.
Yeah, because remember say a bigger market than in a shop. Promoter easy if you make $1 million Jamaica.
Yeah, but it's not just the market. It boils down to the leverage of the artist.
Yeah, I know, but what you're saying is like the artist is the... all right, me I keep a show now. I want it name Escobar Splash. So I would have to get a promoter from over there for keep it.
Yeah.
But them...
So you partner with the promoter?
But them have to go run me check now and say, I want to help this go because you not having the leverage as we say can mash up the promoter production
But that
too.
also comes with a team that can do checks and balances because it is easier for the promoter when you hire to give you all kind of numbers when it makes sense and hit you. So if you don't know what you're doing, that can also backfire on you.
There's a wide range of deal structuring. You can have back-end, they call it back-end, 30-70 to the artist split after your expense has been realized. Rolling Stones, they hire their promoter and they pay him a fee. He doesn't get a percentage. And whenever they go to a different country, it's a different promoter there. They fly in with 2 jumbo jets, set up for a week, and then the acts come in on their own private plane. That is not a small amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So it's a stadium, and financially supporting that realm is not just from ticket sales. It's sponsorships, all the different things that come with earning from tour.
Merchandise.
Everything. Oh, they sell a shitload of merch.
Yeah. Not only that, there's a thing called, I saw in some cases when we were on the tour with Sting that people were paying up to almost £4,000
for a ticket.
For one seat. Yeah. I never knew that happened. That happens. And the crazy part about that tour with me and him is that Rossi's here, can tell you, we'll see the same people in the front seat and those $4,000 tickets, and we'll see them at the next show, same people buying another set of $4,000 ticket over and over. It's that loyal. It's that loyal. Big eye opener for me being on that tour with Sting and realizing what it was. We flew private to every show.
71 shows for the year, and we flew private to all of them.
Right? And it's a different level that I could not have experienced on my own. Right? And maybe I could have, but I certainly have the team and the structure and the bucket for be there at that time, right, in many, many areas. But with that, we found that out. And so it gives me a different perspective, and that's why we come in and share some of these knowledge. So what we're doing is a billion-dollar industry. We're have to take it serious and use it and do it as a business to move forward.
And Sting himself has a deal with Live Nation that they paid him in advance to be with Live Nation and then pay him for the show.
And then the crazy part about that is that's a guy that is never late. Not one time. Yeah. The guy is what, 70-something now?
Yeah, 75.
And this guy is never late. He certainly don't need the money, but he's never late. Does sound check every day, every single day.
I think one of the things that has to be a practice. It has to be something where you can say, I'm going to start do this. It's something that you have to consider yourself, who you are. You have to acknowledge.
That's a great transition, because this is the next thing I want to say. We're lacking people that are not artists in touring here in Jamaica. During COVID, we needed an engineer. My guy couldn't travel. And you can't find somebody that appropriately can come and deal with your thing here because of allegiance with other guys. And once they come into the Shaggy camp, they all think, all right, that's it, I'm gone with Shaggy now, I'm going to take me with. No, we have to stay with whom they're with. Or else me not this, or me not that. So the bringing up of the different, a merch person, There's none here in Jamaica. I don't know a merch person that I can call and say, yo, dude, let's print these things and go out on the road and do something with it. Because I have 5 people that are trying to be musicians. My front of house engineer is a drummer. My monitor engineer used to be a keyboard player. These people grew up in this passionate thing. And I know Marcia probably know some of these cross responsibility where you bring one person out to do many things. The bass player might be the cook.
Yeah, they wear many hats, yeah.
It is changing now in today's world. People are going without people and using when they get there who don't know their show. Because you don't have that person to say, let's go do this. Because 2 things. 1, financially can't afford that professional person from the crew. And 2, you think that you don't need him because the last time you did something with someone else and everything went well. So your presentation now is suffering because you feel that you can cut this corner. How do you feel about that dynamic going out of Jamaica, and how do we fix that? Is that a government thing? Is that, because I do really believe that we need a higher structure of making every artist that want to do something have a place to go and ask questions. How do I get this done? Who do I call to be my engineer? I'm going for 4 shows and I don't have a band. How do I get these things done? Is there anything else when I get to New York that I should do? Get in touch with your media people. We have them there in New York. Get in touch with all of the people that will help you move forward. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. And Shaggy always said this. He does his thing on what is a Britney Spears catering budget. And that's a big thing again, is reggae is suffering around the world. You go in your dressing room, it's empty. 2 bottles of water.
Tell me about
in a reggae show. You ask them for a towel, it come when the show finish. So, people don't read your rider. Anybody know what a rider is? Everybody know? Yeah, it's... They don't read your rider. You don't have a tour manager calling and emphasizing points that you, the act, need to come in and do a positive show when you get there. So
that should be the... if, for instance, if like a Shaggy, or me then, Bishop Escobar, work with Ramesh Entertainment, him as the manager have persons for do that. As what Shaggy said, that's how the road manager comes in. Because the artist is supposed to call and say, yo, make sure some NSC in my tent, you know. I'm going to forget 4 Red Bull and 3 cranberry and 2 baklava water and my towel. See? That's how. When Lali go on Lali do that, Frankie do it, or Frankie have somebody to do it. So, I think why the music is suffering is that the business part is not properly known. So everybody, and then now, the artists are the boss. The artists are like tell the manager what he want, what he do. You know, I don't want to wear that jeans there, a Laguna Beach jeans, I want a Forever 21, you know. So everything that the artists start call the shots now, and I think that's one of the main problems because the egotistic behavior cause people don't want to work with you. So when you as the artist build your team, you know somebody at one part where they say take some picture with me. Me like how you make my forehead look so big. Me like how me hire you for my team. How much you charge per show? XYZ, way. You realize that girl, yeah, she's a very keen listener and she can take notes and you have her as your PR. So what you need to do is build your team. So that's when you are going to and you make sure say you carry them to the relevant persons to get them documents up to date and all of them things there. So them have them passports. So my artists them right now not even have a national ID, you know. See? So, and then you have persons who have the raw talent, don't have the resource to get them where them to go. Them just have the talent alone. So by the time your tour come up now, and you have to get that drummer and the cameraman and something, they have to look about them bird paper that take 3 months. They have to look about them TRN. Then you understand, you have to get police record.
And there's no artist development. There's no artist development.
So by the time you get all of them documentation there, at tour time, come up, plane ticket for buy, you know, want spend a money for buy them ticket car, they not get the bird paper yet.
So that with us, because I forgot to question and answer Q&A. Just one question for Marcia. Do you think that touring now is easier than when it was in your time, and how so?
Undoubtedly, it's much easier because there's more knowledge. Artists like yourself, we're coming way back from in the early 90s, Japan Splash, and the things that we suffered, you know, it's not a sufferation, it's an experience, a learning experience. So after experiencing those days in Japan, touring the US with Reggae Sunsplash, Japan Splash, and you see the development today, you know that it's all coming from experience. Management, artists have better management, like he was just saying, S was just saying. We need management because an artist cannot be a manager and an artist. One is going to suffer, and is management. So especially the women, I beseech to them daily to get good management because you gain more respect as a woman and you have someone representing you. You can't be a singer and you're doing business around the corner with a promoter fighting over your money. So when I look on tour today, I am very happy to see where it's coming from. You know, it's just unfortunate that these artists don't have a clue how blessed, I wouldn't say lucky, how blessed they are, you know, to be experiencing it on another level.
And by the way, you say the artists are fighting for money. The artists shouldn't be fighting for money at all. If it is organized the right way, your money situation should have been taken care of from the level of your agents, right? Your tour management, your booking agent, and your lawyers, and all of that from before, right? So that you don't even move until
that is when everything is in place.
Yes, but in the early stage, you have to, you know, twinkie twanky. We have to open the floor to some Q&A, you know. Anybody with the microphones can say, we say a hand up there, so. Stand up, please. We call up, I have a light in my eye, please. I'm sorry. I know say I'm comfortable and I want to stand up and no shoes about no about though. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. You shy with the light?
It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, grand afternoon, everyone. All right.
Breathe, mama, breathe.
That's what the nurse said to my mother. Anyway. She was in labor. Anyways, all right. So I'm not sure. I don't think this is a question, but a piece of advice, rather. I am not a musician, but a piece of advice. I think that the upcoming artists these days, they do need management. However, because of ego and them not being able to differentiate, how would I say, what's the word? Constructive criticism versus persons who are bad mind per se, or just always giving bad feedback to them. I think that's one of their main reasons for not going towards the management side and just trying to do things on their own.
Moms, once in a music, anything we do, we have to do with entertainment. That's something that you have to make sure you set up on your top list. You have to can endure backlash, constructive criticism, raucous criticism, whichever way. You have to make sure say you can register that. Because when you work tonight, the man say, him not work good tonight, him sing half key, you can't make that dim way you do. So you have to just do it. You can't do music analyst them something. You have to just go.
All Jamaicans are stars. And we cherish competition. And it feels like when it's your time, it's only your time. You know, it feels like move out of my way.
Yes.
It,
Can you stand up, sir?
This is as tall as I could get, sir. This is where it stops, right here. I noticed that you guys were speaking earlier about preparation as far as like start home before you go abroad, right? Bishop, you know from experience. When you go abroad, it's different. You have sound check and, you know, line level and this and that to make sure that you can put on the best performance. But before you get to that point, you know what I mean, you guys didn't touch on this. I don't think there's enough preparation as far as home, like rehearsals and being able to put together a proper show to get across the point you're making with your music. So that was one of the things I just noticed that you guys didn't mention on. Like, I feel like anytime I watch a show lately, there's no beginning, climax, and end to the show with a finale, you know what I mean? So.
Is that overall or just with Jamaican acts you're talking about?
I would say right now, since we're just dealing with the Caribbean, I feel like Jamaican acts.
Well, that is what I was talking about from before when Rossi was saying to him that he watched Valiant last night and it was like, it's almost like him just a chop it, right? And it's not the artist's fault because that is, you know, is really the audience's fault. We have such short attention span, you know, in dancehall especially, that I don't think there's anybody has really seen a full reggae show. Them just see some performances. You know, apart from maybe like a Beres, you know, or you have a few artists, or a Buju, yeah, where you see a man start a song and sing the song, where people can get into a vibe and feel. That's how reggae shows used to be. And then dancehall come in and then it become, and even dancehall, and it's the forward. You start and you hear the forward and you jack it up and pull it again and forward and jump and so you start, see it get short and short. But once you go overseas, that's different. I remember one night we played for 4 hours in Africa. And those African shows were killer. When you start playing in Africa and when you do 2 hours and you're gone to 3 and you're tired and you sweat and drip, all of your clothes wet up and you come off. And you hear a man and say, hey, I want my money. I want more. You're not done yet. When you don't sing all of your song, you better sing Bob Marley song and Peter Tosh song, everybody else song. Because it's not acceptable in certain countries for you to do that, you know what I mean? And at one point became accustomed to doing these long 4-hour shows. You know what I mean?
Everybody, Harry Belafonte, Bob, everything.
Yeah, Fletcher used to be playing the bass and then he have to take a rest. Because his hand, and then he start walking around the little balls, them, right? And start strengthen the muscles, them, you know, because we were playing these shows that were, when them time in nice, I'm young and them things, so 4 hours coming like nothing to me, you know? But 5-hour show, you don't see that, and a lot of these artists wouldn't be able to be in that arena. And that's why the culture of Jamaica within itself and the audience of Jamaica has to change. And we need to do festivals that require artists to actually do full performances.
Shaggy, to add to that, you could end up do that because you have catalog.
No, but I never have catalog before. That's what I'm saying. I ended up doing other
Hot
people's
Shot.
songs.
Oh.
Yeah, when I just started even Old Carolina, I do my album, which was a Pure Pleasure album, the first album out, and sometimes you're getting up to 2 hours on a show you have to do, and with that one album. And at one point, I used to sing Bob Marley tune them. I'm sing Peter Tosh tune them, I'm sing other reggae people tune them, and I'm sing, right, to make it go. And we can't done, right? And the crowd, them rock CM and the band play them CM, and we created a good show. Sometimes I see even to this day, Sting has an extensive catalog and still put in cover songs from other artists just to make the show become a show instead of just his stuff alone. You know what I mean? Some people say, yo, you're not singing your tune. No, it's not that you're not singing. You just want a variety that you have as an audience, have an entertaining experience. Because even if you're singing over somebody's show, you're singing it over with your voice. That's what makes it the difference. It's your style. It's a different feel that you're putting to it. You know, Marcia's Electric Boogie was totally different from Bunny Wheeler's Electric Boogie. You know, I mean, they're two different styles, right? And different interpretation of it. Anyone else?
All right, here. Specs, King Turbo Sound, Flow 98.7, Toronto, Canada. I've been working with Marcia and Shaggy for many, many years, and I don't know if this is a statement, question, or maybe I'm just looking for reaction. But one of the major problems, especially in Toronto, Canada, is you book an artist, especially these reggae dancehall artists, and you don't know if they're even going to be reaching the country because they don't have their visa or they don't have their papers properly. And when they come to Toronto, Canada, maybe other places too, they come with a friend that they just want to get him an experience for come foreign. You know, all of a sudden he's the road manager and this person's that, whatever case. They make it a very, very bad experience to the point where, you know, people in foreign don't want to deal with them again. And even sometimes the artist doesn't even make it to the country. So by the time that promoter spends their money, promote the event, setting up the radio ads, them, getting the people them that they're supposed to work to make the show happen, everything goes to a waste, and then it puts a bad taste in people's in their mouth. Next thing that I want to say also is that a lot of the times then when they do come to Toronto or maybe other places also, you can almost tell the demeanor of the artist. For instance, when I do radio and I'm doing radio interviews, we set them up in advance, and when I have Marcia come down to the radio or Shaggy, they're there 20, 30, 45 minutes in advance, making sure that there's time for them to relax, you know, do the radio jingles and do the business at hand for the station before the interview and preparing and making sure they're all right. But there's some of them that actually, when they come to the station, they come late, put the program behind schedule. Then they're coming, they have to go up them smoke break, they have them bag of friends in the studio, them friends them in the studio, crush up them weed and a talk during the interview and a bag of things like that. And another thing that puts a bad taste in people's mouth, you know, when it comes to, you know, reggae and dance all across the seas. And I see that action here in Jamaica, and I do understand, you know, that things are later. They come to the dance or the concert with like 40, 50, 60 people and all that. But that mentality doesn't work in foreign, and they bring that same mentality to foreign, and it just mashes up their whole thing and makes the whole scene look bad. And it's just not a good look. And just one more thing. The other day I was working with Live Nation, doing some promotion with them for a few reggae concerts because they don't have the faith in doing reggae music. As you said, they look at the genre as very, very small. So when they put their money, there was one artist, I won't call their name, charging $60,000 US to do shows one in Toronto and the rest of them in the States. Now, this artist was a big artist, but just couldn't sell tickets. I'm talking about 300 people paying for tickets, even if that much, to the point where Live Nation wanted to cancel the tickets. So then they have to come back down to the grassroots of people like me to help push and promote these concerts. Now, this person's getting $60,000. They're getting their limo. They're getting all the stuff in their rider, because Live Nation, they're very, very, you know how that goes. They're very professional when they're doing the thing. Now, the artists, they don't promote the concert on their Instagram. Remember, they're getting $60,000 US, their first tour, and they're trying to market the artist on the level of Burna Boy and Wizkid, and they're getting the opportunity. It's very, very rare that an artist in a reggae and dancehall gets the opportunity to work with the Live Nation, if any at all. So when they come, they don't do what they're supposed to do as far as the promotion. They show up late. They show up with the baga friends them. And on top of it, the show loses $20,000, $30,000. So I just want to know your take on things like that.
And in other words, what you're saying is him fuck it up for everybody else. And we all know who you're talking about. Anyway, that's another story.
Business small.
But this is what we go through all the time, where it messes up for everybody else. When you go up on your Instagram and you go cuss out, if something is wrong, you cuss out. Me to draw some cloth on them boy the other day. Right? Pon it. And I knew it was happening. As Rossi, I told everybody on my band that this was going to happen. What you don't know about that promoter is that those promoters were the same promoter that promoted my show in 1996.
Yep.
Right? 1996 Bombastic tour. When I got sick on that tour, and I don't even remember back one time when a whole lighting rig did fall on my head and damage a couple of people got hurt in Poland. That same tour. I got sick, I was throwing up blood and blah, blah, blah. It was a crazy tour at the time. Those are the same promoters. So I've had history with those promoters. No, those promoters are bigger. I've only done that festival only one time. This was my second time, right? So I knew there was tensions and all of that going through, right? And coming days. I never post up nothing after that. I allow it at that. See, somebody, anyway, we're in the age of media, so everybody take it and run with it. But for them, if there's something is happening between me and a promoter or something, me now come talk about it on the public forum, right? I basically have it with my management, and I'm going to leverage it inside out and argue with them. Unless they're attacking me when I need to defend myself, that's a whole different situation. Because the reason why I don't go at it publicly most of the time, because it has a ripple effect on other people and other artists, right? And it can damage the relationship. What he's talking about, Specs is talking about, is a relationship that was now damaged between Live Nation, which is the biggest touring entity in the world at this point, and then now drives even a further wedge from the genre of reggae, right? And he was just probably trying to facilitate it because you know how important Live Nation is and how small we are and how much you like, and you was hoping that this artist would deliver for us. Even if he didn't deliver in selling hard tickets, but if he delivers well in being on time and professionalism, right, it will set you back. It will actually make make them want to deal with others down the line. There's some places we go where we never sell ticket with Live Nation or with other promoters. But promoters bring us back because we're professional, and they work with us until we do start to sell ticket in that market, because of our professionalism and relationship that we bring on. So I understand what I said.
And when we sit down out there, so I hear them say, Jody, I say move. I think we have to wrap up now. Like solidly, like whoom, shut the door and turn the key. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. The show done.